name's Chris Ballasini, author of the First Home Buyers Help Kit and If You Believe You Can Achieve. I'm here to wrap up this month's Business Academy Online. I hope you've really enjoyed the last 4 weeks with my material, learning how to go through ebooks, marketing a physical book, learning to speak at presentations and trade shows, and finally getting your creative juices happening with offline marketing such as snail mail and these old-fashioned things to stand out from the crowd. So to get started, that's just a quick recap of what we've done over the past 4 weeks. So let's just start with writing an ebook. Hopefully you really enjoyed this material. The first thing I'd say to do with writing an ebook is to see what your industry is actually doing. Are they doing ebooks already? If they are, what sort of ebooks are they doing? What sort of material is included? It's really important that you see what your competitors are doing and then either differentiate or emulate what they're doing but put your own spin on that. I guess in marketing nothing is original, so it's okay to find what other people are doing and almost copy that, but put your own spin on it, of course. So that's the first thing I say to do when looking to write an ebook, just seeing what else is out there and what style you would like to do. Secondly, when you go to plan the ebook and to write your book, you definitely want to have a mind map to what's going on. So just going back real quick to my book, this is obviously a physical book, but it is also an ebook. And all I did when I wrote this book was sort of get a big sheet of paper and wrote out the topics that I wanted to write about, as well as stories associated with those topics. And in the end I came out with discovering the 12 principles to realising your unlimited potential. Now that number 12 was just what happened to fall in place once I did this mind map. It could have been 7, it could have been 15. It just would have what ended up fitting best once I'd done this mind map. So I think it's important that you put together a list of stories, a list of topics for what you're doing. So for example, the chapters of my book include have a reason why, being passionate, having a positive attitude, being open to change, etc., etc. So that's definitely an important step when writing an ebook, just to sort of lay out exactly where you're going and what you're going to do. I mentioned just before about your industry and what they're doing as well. Like that particular book there is quite long, but there's no reason why your ebook can't be 10 pages long or even less. There's no set limit on what you do, as long as you're giving value to your customer or prospect, depending on what you're trying to do. Because an ebook, of course, can be used to sell, but it can also be used as a giveaway to get people to join up to your database, which is often far more important. So by having just a short ebook, just to get that bit of incentive for people to join the database, it's actually quite fine to keep it short. So for you, those of you out there going, okay Chris, that's great, but I actually don't like writing, or prefer not to write, that's fine, because what we can do there is outsource that or joint venture that activity. At the end of the day, the money is in the marketing, so if you can go to someone with the marketing plan behind an ebook and showing them the benefit in that, there's no reason they're not going to want to get involved. Just to give you a quick example of that, I showed you just before something I wrote earlier, which was called the First Home Buyers Help Kit. So that in itself, how many people can I joint venture that sort of a product with? There's mortgage brokers, there's real estate agents, there's conveyancers. Anyone who's in that real estate field or industry would potentially would have clients which are the same as mine. So of course a mortgage broker would be looking for a first home buyer, so there's no reason why if I propose to them that they write a book, or vice versa I write and joint venture with them, that there's not joint benefit there and both businesses can't expand and grow with the aid of an ebook. The look of the book, I sound like a Dr. Seuss character there. The look of the book is important as well. We want to add credibility. At the end of the day, an ebook is just really a PDF file, and that is it. But it doesn't sound too attractive going, buy a PDF file off me. What we want to do is have a good look about the whole package. So you want a great cover, You want like a 3D type picture for your advertising. As people look through the book, you want the contents to be laid out. You want there to be graphs, pictures, cartoons, humour, whatever that might be, just to differentiate itself and make it look really attractive to the eye. As humans, we get bored of just looking at text all day. So if every few pages, whatever it might be, depending on your industry, make sure once you've done the mind map, written the stories and the whole format there, that you then make sure that you pretty it up by having a fantastic looking package. Again, like I mentioned before, it is all about the marketing. Your aim is to make money, so if you're going to make less money by selling the book and more by giving it away for free, that's definitely the path you should take. I'm a great believer, especially early on in your business, is getting massive volume out there as opposed to less volume at a higher cost. So you're far better off potentially giving your ebook away or having it cheaper, or even joint venturing with people for them to give away, so your name gets out there more and more. So like I said, an ebook, the great thing about it is that because it's electronically delivered, there's very little cost, or there could be zero cost depending on your skills in getting this actually set up and distributed. The final thing I want to cover quickly with ebooks is the action step that I gave you with the Business Academy Online. So I talked about planning an ebook so I just want to make sure that you stay on track and actually do that process. Whether right now you're going to write an ebook or not doesn't actually matter. This exercise will take you very little time. Just to write out some topics that your business could potentially use. So I mentioned earlier, with the book I wrote, that was sort of around personal development. So I wrote words like passionate, about having goals, about time management, all these types of things, and then I fed later the stories into those topics. And you can do that too. As long as you get the book planned now, you can complete it later. Moving on now to the physical book, which was week 2 of your course with the Business Academy Online. So the great thing about having a physical book is the credibility that comes with it. Whilst it's great to have an electronic version and an ebook, it's always a lot better to be able to be an author of a book and have something physical. To me, this is actually a business card more than anything. So when I meet people, go to a seminar or a conference, whilst most people have these little business cards that I'll put into my wallet and probably never contact again, by having a book I can give them, if it's a good lead, if it's worth my money and time, this book will be kept forever. They're most likely going to read more about me and my business, and they're never going to throw it out. This will either then sit on their bookshelf, so I'll have constant exposure with the spine of who I am, Chris Balasandy, in the book I've written, or this book may be gifted. They might pass it on to someone else who would be interested in that sort of topic. So the great thing about a book is it can create that sort of viral marketing as well, where it's never going to be thrown out as such. It'll just be passed on, and your name will get exposed as time goes on. So let's assume that you're going to go ahead and write a book. Which direction should you then take? Should you go down the publishing or self-publishing path? For me, I like self-publishing just because it gives me a lot more control about what I'd like to do. You would have seen in the material over the last month the benefits, the pros and cons of each. So everyone's going to be different depending on which path you want to take. And it gets back to the point I was talking before about joint ventures. Maybe this is a great way to have your book funded for free by having it go through a publisher. So it's up to you which path you want to take. For me, my major reasons for going the self-publishing is control and over time cost. So whilst I have to put a bit of money in it to start with, over time as you do more and more volume, the cost to reproduce a book and to do reprints is very low. And like I said, I basically use it as a business card, that particular book. With books in the future, each will have a different strategy, but if you have at least one book as a business card as such, I think it's going to put you in a really good place.